MOIRA DELA TORRE, the voice that heals broken souls. What if your deepest heartbreak could become the very thing that sets your soul free? What if pain wasn't the end, but the beginning of something powerful, something that could touch millions? MOIRA DELA TORRE's story is not just about fame or success. It's about healing. It's about being broken, choosing vulnerability, and turning that pain into a voice that comforts others. Her rise as one of the most soulful and emotional voices in OPM, original Filipino music, wasn't fueled by overnight fame. It was carved out of raw honesty, unshakable faith, and a relentless pursuit of authenticity. MOIRA didn't always have the spotlight. Like many dreamers, she started with covers, writing jingles, and singing in corners where only a few would listen. She wasn't the loudest, the flashiest, or the trendiest artist out there. But there was something different about her, something you couldn't ignore. When she sang, it felt like someone finally put words to your feelings. You weren't just listening to a song. You were hearing your own story, finally told in a voice that understood your silence. Her breakthrough came with Malaya, a song that instantly pierced through the hearts of listeners. It wasn't just a ballad about letting go. It was an anthem for every soul who had to love in silence, walk away in pain, and rebuild in pieces. MOIRA sang not with power, but with presence. She didn't need high notes to reach the top of the charts. She reached people where they were, broken, hopeful, and human. But what made Malaya truly powerful wasn't just its melody. It was MOIRA's courage to be vulnerable. In a society where strength is often seen as hiding your emotions, MOIRA embraced hers. She cried on stage, shared her battles with anxiety, and opened up about heartbreak not as a weakness, but as a bridge. She allowed her wounds to be seen, not to gain sympathy, but to tell others, you're not alone. Behind the spotlight was a woman who fought many silent battles. MOIRA has openly talked about her struggles with self-doubt and emotional trauma. Fame didn't shield her from pain, it magnified it. But instead of running from her scars, she used them. Her music became a safe space for those who didn't have the words to express their grief. Each lyric she wrote was like a letter to someone trying to heal. Songs like Tagpuan Pabaya and Babalik Sayo weren't just chart toppers, they became emotional lifelines. Pabaya in particular broke the internet not just because of the song, but because of the raw, real, and honest narrative in its music video. MOIRA wasn't just creating music, she was holding space for truth, for acceptance, for the grace that comes after goodbye. And in doing so, she reminded us that even the most painful endings can lead to the most beautiful beginnings. Her journey also speaks of redemption, not just in love, but in life. After facing the heartbreak of her separation, many expected her to retreat into silence. But MOIRA did the opposite. She came back, stronger, more grounded, and even more committed to her purpose. Her comeback wasn't loud, it was real. She sang of healing, faith, and rediscovery. She didn't just sing about love anymore, she sang about self-worth, growth, and starting over. What makes MOIRA DELA TORRE truly inspiring isn't just her voice, it's her choice. The choice to stay soft in a world that rewards hardness. The choice to be transparent in an industry that thrives on image. The choice to use pain not as a chain but as wings. Her music reminds us that heartbreak doesn't have to break you, it can awaken the deepest parts of your soul. Her faith has also been a consistent anchor. MOIRA often speaks of her relationship with God as the source of her strength. It's a quiet kind of faith, one that doesn't shout but shows. In her darkest moments, she found light not in applause, but in grace. And that grace is what she now shares with others, through her songs, her story, and her spirit. MOIRA's journey is a testimony that healing is not linear. Some days you'll sing, some days you'll cry, but every step forward matters. She proves that even if your voice shakes, your truth is still worth hearing. She proves that softness is not weakness, and that in a world obsessed with moving on quickly, it's okay to take your time to heal. So here's the question. What if your pain has a purpose? What if your story, no matter how messy or unfinished, could be the very light someone else needs? Moira Dela Torre didn't wait to be whole before she shared her heart. And maybe that's the secret, not waiting to be perfect, but choosing to be real. How has Moira Dela Torre's story touched your life? Has one of her songs ever helped you heal? We'd love to hear your reflections. Share your story in the comments, and let's create a space where real stories like Moira's continue to inspire and uplift.